Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje are set to run back their 2018 Fight of the Year at UFC 291 in Salt Lake City on Saturday. While the first meeting did not have a title at stake, the rematch puts the ceremonial BMF title on the line. The championship has no matchmaking or confirmed contractual value. It's an empty prize for two fighters who have already earned their reputations as warriors several times over. But it could be so much more. Poirier and Gaethje are undoubtedly some of the baddest men on the planet. The pair have written the record books with all-action affairs that have earned them plenty of post-fight bonuses. The silver prize will be strapped around Saturday's winner by inaugural BMF title holder George Masvidal. The retired athlete defeated Nate Diaz, another all-action fan favorite, at UFC 244 in New York's Madison Square Garden. The genesis of the BMF Championship begins with Diaz, and that gives the belt a unique charm. When Nate did his interview that night, he basically said, "This is for the baddest mother in the game." UFC President Dana White said of the title's origins during a UFC 244 press conference in 2019. So, this is one of those fights that, after that interview, started to build a life of its own through the fans and the media. We didn't seriously start talking about this fight until maybe a couple of weeks later in a matchmaking meeting. The UFC has a 1 foot in, 1 foot out approach with the BMF title. It was originally intended as a one-off, but has since been revived with the flimsy excuse of Masvidal's retirement. Masvidal never defended the belt, nor was he acknowledged as an active champion. So there was never a title to vacate, despite the fact that he then lost the next 4 fights to close out his career. Now that we've arrived at the book of BMF chapter, it's time to give the belt a proper legacy and figure out how to make this a meaningful title. It fits the bill. The UFC loves to promote big PV events with a championship on the line, even in instances where it is gratuitous. They'll book champion Vs. Champion super fights in divisions with deserving contenders, schedule interim titles even if a champion is relatively active, and allow retired former champions to jump the queue. But why are we only committing halfway? The UFC has a hefty event quota to meet with events nearly every weekend, and PVs usually once a month. The BMF Championship doesn't need to be defended every time, but it might as well be featured more consistently. Regular lineal BM fights could give the title a unique reputation. The more it's slapped onto random fights every 3 years, the more it'll lose any semblance of meaning. Besides, Masvidal fought for the UFC Welterweight Championship immediately after winning the BMF title and the winner of Poirier. Gaethje, too, will be on the lightweight shortlist. It's a strong start to defining the championship, not only as an all-action title, but one that is generally fought for by the sport's elite. Giving fighters a second lease on life, there may be no stronger candidate for a BMF division than Max Holloway, a fighter who has made the move to lightweight in the past. Blessed remains the second best fighter in his weight class, but 3 losses to UFC featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski have gridlocked him from the title. Holloway is not getting a UFC featherweight title shot until Volkanovski is dethroned, and it doesn't look like that is happening anytime soon. Volkanovski's reign over the featherweight division presents the opportunity for a number of exciting fighters to temporarily pivot, including Yair Rodriguez, Brian Ortega, Josh Emmett, Calvin Kattar, and the Korean zombie chain, Sung Jung. The lightweight division is chock full of talented fighters who have thus far fallen short at the championship level. Poirier and Gaethje are among them, as are Michael Chandler, Rafael Fiziev, Dan Hooker, and Jalen Turner. An argument could be made that UFC's real BMF is Jim Miller. The 54-fight veteran has carved out a career so unique it has fans and analysts arguing what constitutes a Hall of Famer. Miller never has been or will be a youth champion. What he has is the most wins in fights in UFC history, the most finishes in lightweight history, and shocking longevity in one of Emma's most shark-infested divisions. No one is calling for Miller to fight opponents the caliber of Poirier or Gaethje, but spotlighting aging veterans is one of UFC's few matchmaking weaknesses. The BMF title could be exactly what our sports heroes need, another chance at glory. Dream matchups come to life. The beauty of defending the BMF Championship across weight classes is the potential for unique matchups that circumnavigate meritocratic expectations and an endless combination of possibility. We're never getting Brandon Moreno vs. Charles Oliveira, but having fighters move up and down a weight class means that, in theory, the BMF title could work its way to any division. That's a novel concept when you consider the sheer quantity of all Action FC fighters on the roster, from flyweights Brandon Royval and bantamweights Corey Sandhagen to welterweight contender Vicente Luque. Gaethje told CB Sports that a dream fight with Holloway intrigues him. Sandhagen named featherweight Yair Rodriguez, flyweight champion Alexandra Pantoja, and Moreno as ideal BMF fights. Even White has claimed that the BMF mythos is popular among the roster. You have no idea how many of these fighters want to fight for the BMF title, White said during a press conference in May. They all want to fight for that belt. It's fun. It's different. So we'll do it again.